Thank you guys for moving that over, even though I moved it right back. And I'm gonna need a little bit of space, because you guys are in for one hell of a show. Woo! Praise. So yeah, like I said, I'm from Chicago. This is my first time in Cleveland. Excited to be here. Even more excited to basically just see the city standing at all after the convention last week. But to hear them talk, it basically sounded like the seventh circle of hell had opened. I was pretty much prepared to see a bunch of demons running amok fighting Rudy Giuliani. A little disappointed that I missed out on that. Little disappointed. But then I took a walk down East 4th Street, and that treated me right up. It's really awesome over there, you guys. It's great. They got Hilarity's Comedy Club, which is awesome. Depending on how this goes, if you guys could put in a good word for me, I really appreciate that afterwards. So I'm not going to say too much about the election because Ashley got to go first, and she already mined the shit out of that one. But I would have done the same thing, so I can't blame it. That's what you get when you get to go first. You don't know the crowd, but you get to say whatever the hell you want. You're the first one to do it. So it's, give and take. But no, so what I will say about it, though, is what to me I find the most interesting about this particular election. Because we have, in one corner, the first female candidate of a major political party for president of the United States. Woo! Yeah, and she is arguably the most qualified person ever to seek that office. Which is kind of what I find interesting, because basically for us to be comfortable with the idea of a woman president, she had to far outseed everyone on the planet before her for all time. It's like 30 years ago, she wandered into some DNC office, and some guys in the back like, "Oh my God, Bob! You got this bride who just walked in and said she wants to be president someday." I'm like, "Oh, that's ridiculous! Just tell her to do everything in government, and then come back and talk to us. Never do that." And then she did it. That's what happened. She strolled right back in. They're like, "Well, she checked all the boxes. We got nothing left for her except for president." And once she has that, she gets the free sub, and I don't know what's going on. So if you're wondering what her true motivations are, free sub. There you go. But yeah, so that's what you got in one corner. Meanwhile, the next white man we were all comfortable nominating for president is a geriatric toddler who the only thing more terrifying than what's on top of his head is what's inside. That's where we're at. But no, they talked about a lot of interesting stuff at both conventions. LGBTQ rights came up in both. Trump says he's going to be a big advocate for that community, which, I'm sold. I don't know about you guys, but sounds pretty good to me. But yeah, and then you got a lot more, substance is the right word for the Democrats in terms of supporting gay and lesbian rights. That's, you got that. But I don't know, is there anybody here who thinks that being gay is a choice? These lights are so bright I can't see any of you anyway. I'm just going to assume it's no one, because there is no one who exists who still thinks that. I also don't think that. I don't think it is a choice. I just really wish that it was. I do. I swear to you I wish it, because I would choose gay in a heartbeat. Absolutely I would do that. And my reasoning is very simple. I don't know if you are familiar with the term, but this particular body type is known as a twink. That's just what this is. And I can tell you, after decades of in-depth research, that in the straight community, This is a worthless commodity. No value whatsoever. But in the gay community, this is highly sought after. There's an entire category of sexiness for this in the gay community. Well, yes, I would choose that. Are you kidding me? There's a name for this in the straight community, too. Do you know what it is? Ew! That's what it is. Sure as shit gonna be gay if I could do that. Be nice. Be awfully nice. Yeah, no, not a lot of ladies looking at the other end of a bar with a smile on their face when this is approaching them. It's not a thing that happens. Yeah, it's a very niche market of women who are actively seeking to have sex with an inflatable tube man. Yeah, well, you have no idea how on point that is either. Just, I'm in there a lot of just... Oh, is that good for you? Yeah, it's that's what happens. Yeah, but I didn't always live in Chicago. It's the first big city that I ever lived in. I lived in Illinois, but a much smaller town in central Illinois. So there was really no gay community to speak of where I grew up. Then I moved to Chicago, and all of a sudden, I'm getting these looks from guys all over the place, and it's awesome. It's really flattering. I mean, you don't have to be the sexual orientation to appreciate that you're wanted. It's nice. It's a nice thing. Anytime my self-esteem is lacking, I just take a 20-minute stroll through Boys Town. It's like I'm in my own private shampoo commercial. Oh, boy, settle down. Oh, God. Told you I'd use the space there. Yeah, so that's about where I'm at. But believe it or not, it is not impossible for me to meet women. In fact, share a little tidbit with you guys. I just recently celebrated my 8th-month anniversary with my girlfriend. Thank you. I have almost got her convinced that I'm not gay. So close. I don't resent her for it. I can't even really blame her. I'm still trying to convince my father. He's just not buying it. Don't believe it. Never will. That's okay. So, we've been together long enough now, though, that we're kind of starting to enter the long-term love phase of our relationship, which I personally am a big fan of. Love the long-term love phase. Very, very different, though, from, the fresh blossoming love phase. That's a very, very different thing. There's an evolution it takes to get from one to the other. But I'm a huge, huge fan of the long-term love phase, because I'm really, really bad at the fresh love phase. Suck ass at it. I'm just awful. Just so bad at it. But I'm really good at this part over here when things kind of settle down a little bit. You find out I'm a nice guy and the sex isn't the most important thing in the world anymore. That's when I'm your man. It's pretty good around then. But so I meet this girl, and I'm just she was one of these girls. It hasn't happened a lot in my life, but she was one of these girls that I was just head over heels for right out of the gate. I was just so into her immediately. I was like, I can't believe how charismatic and funny and interesting this girl is. And I'm just so excited to see her all the time. And all I want to do is text her and tweet about her and dream about her and all these wonderful things. And my excitement level was way up here. And she was nowhere near that. No, yeah, she was way lower in the beginning. But that's fair. I mean, it was reasonable for her to be there. That was, she didn't even know me in the beginning. Makes sense. For me, it was any stranger who's willing to have sex with me, I'll follow you to the end. Let's do it. I'm in. Let's go. She was she at least wanted to find out if I was the type of creepy weirdo who had an entire Build-A-Bear workshop in his studio apartment before she went all in on this thing. So I can't really blame her for that. It took a little bit of time. But a lot happened over that period of time. You start to learn stuff about each other as your fresh love evolves into long-term love. It's like when you first start dating, you're embarking on your flight of love together. And it's wonderful. But inevitably, at some point, that flight is going to run into a bit of turbulence. And when that happens, all that baggage you've been working so hard to keep in the overhead bins is going to come spilling out. And you got to deal with it. You just got to deal with it. You got to look the other person right in the eye and say, whoa, sorry, that's just my father's anger issues right there. Don't worry about that. Never you mind. No problem there. That's fine. Yeah. So, but that happened, like, you learn that stuff about each other, and it's terrifying when they find out, but then they stay with you. Or they leave you, like most people that I know. But occasionally they stay. And that's how you get to long-term love, because you have shit and they have shit, and you put your shit together and you make it work. And that's what I love about long-term love. It's like you both have, it's like mutually assured destruction. I like that in a relationship. It's like we're a sinking ship together, baby. Do it. That's ridiculous. I apologize. Should say. So we get to our long-term love phase, but it's not easy by any stretch of the imagination because we fight a lot. That's just part of being in a relationship. The fighting is just very frequent. And the one thing that I've learned, see, this isn't the first long-term relationship in my life. I've been in a few by this point, and it's enough that I finally learned one very, very, very important thing. And that thing is, women are far superior at arguing. Oh my God. And if you disagree with that statement, you are probably a very lonely man. That's probably what you are if you don't think that's true. But my God, I can't even compete with it. It's operating on a level I don't even understand. But I figured out, I think, what it is. Why they have such an advantage over men. Because men approach arguments too rationally. And that is a weakness. It really is. Because when a man has 12 things to argue about, it's just, well, we're going to start with the first thing, and then the first thing is discussed and decided upon, we'll move on to the second thing, and then so on and so forth, and all things are discussed and decided upon. Amen. But a woman will argue all 12 things at the same time. And that is amazing to me. I'm in awe of that. In every single argument, there inevitably comes a point. Like I go into it so prepared, like I'm just some crappy courtroom procedural, just hitting the books and getting my case ready. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna come at her with everything I got. She's not gonna get me. Every question she could possibly think of, I'm gonna have the answer to before we even get started. Yes, I'm so prepared this time. Yet, inevitably, in every single argument, there will come a point where she says something that makes me say, what the hell does that have to do with anything? And then she convinces me that it does. And that's when I know I'm in big trouble. Because it has just been revealed what this whole argument is really about. And I just found out. Whereas she has been obsessively thinking about it for the past 3 weeks. I can't compete with that. Oh my God. But it is for that reason, women's superiority at arguing, that I believe, personally, Hillary Clinton will be the most effective commander-in-chief we have ever seen. look at the Benghazi hearing. For 11 hours, that committee threw everything they had at her. And the only thing that happened was, over the course of 11 hours, she gradually wore each and every single hand of that panel down until there was nothing left but a pile of dust and a flag pin. You put that in a room with Vladimir Putin? 18 hours later, she's going to walk out there like, what the hell was that? I have no idea what happened, but I've given up to Ukraine and I promise to never take my shirt off again. All right, thanks so much, you guys.